couch, you gonna couch, buddy?
Right here. Do not go
With the other JD Vance.
You gotta love a good heckle like that. I mean, not at a comedy club where I work, but when politicians are overstepping their bounds in wannabe fascist ways, you gotta love someone that keeps them honest by just calling them out for, you know, what rumors have. Apparently, you know, they say the man has done things to couches, that's all. I'm saying, and while it is scary what this administration is trying to do, sometimes you do have to laugh to keep yourself from going completely insane. I think that's a Jimmy Buffett lyric, basically. Law enforcement, of course, like clockwork, was there on the scene at DC Union Station to quell protesters who made it their mission to drown out and shout down JD Vance, Pete Hegseth, and Stephen Miller, who's just, you know, his head looks like a boiled egg. Their little photo op with National Guard troops at the Shake Shack inside of DC's Union Station.
I know, I always liked a good cheeseburger when I was in uniform, so hopefully we could deliver a few of those.
That sentence is strange and kind of dystopian enough on its own, but here's what was going on outside of the station just days ago. If you want to see what dystopian could look like, this is happening now in our country. Tanks in the streets, people barely even noticing, it's becoming commonplace already. And then on their way out, lots of boos because their propaganda at the station there trying to reinforce the bogus narrative that we need to militarize our cities and put boots literally on the ground to prevent crime instead of, you know, what's another way you could do it? I don't know, addressing the root causes of why crime exists in these cities in such large numbers through, you know, policies that benefit people instead of just putting a Band-Aid on top and doing it for short spurts of time and doing it so that you can claim victory after 7 days or 9 days when crime already was on the way down and you're just sort of doing this for show, right?
Hey guys, take it easy. How y'all doing? Appreciate it. Good to meet you. Hey, how are you doing? All right, thank you. I appreciate that. I'm honored. Yeah, of course. Yeah, come here. We'll take a photo right now. Thanks for all your help. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Tell them God bless them, and I appreciate it. Yeah, it means a lot. Thank you. What's your wife and daughter's name? Okay, tell them both I said hey. Thank you. Sergeant, how you doing?
I mean, you gotta love that these protesters were getting to JD Vance. He had to reference them several times in his speech, at least 3 or 4 times. He mentions the crazy people that used to yell at his kids and him and his family at Union Station are now replaced by crazy people yelling at him. It's a much better kind of crazy people, I will grant him that. But they're getting in his head. They're affecting his mojo instead of a clean opportunity to show how they change things around, turn things around at Union Station. It's a loud cacophony of people standing against this incredibly unnecessary militarization of our cities.
So it's kind of crazy. You hear these guys outside. They appear to hate the idea that Americans can enjoy their communities, and they do the fact that D.C. a week ago had a higher murder rate than Trinidad and Tobago, which the United States State Department has said you shouldn't visit because it's unsafe. We ought to be able to enjoy great American cities. That's what we're trying to do in the Trump administration, and we want to thank all of our law enforcement and National Guardsmen for making it possible. We made a lot of progress in 9 days. We're going to make a whole lot more. I'll let Pete and Stephen Miller say something, and we'll take a few questions from the reporters. So, Mr. Secretary.
Thank you, Mr. Vice President. I'll just start by saying yes and amen to everything you said. The American people, the residents of D.C., deserve a safe and beautiful city. That's our mission. That's what every one of these captains, lieutenants, staff sergeants, specialists, privates, they're here because they're patriots who serve the country and believe we deserve a beautiful, safe capital. And when I talk to all of them, Stephen, we've all had a chance to talk to them, they're proud of this mission. They're proud to be a part of making sure law and order is established here in the capital.
We are not going to let the communists destroy a great American city, let alone the nation's capital. And let's just also address one other thing. All these demonstrators that you've seen out here in recent days, all of these elderly white hippies, they're not part of the city and never have been. And by the way, most of the citizens who live in Washington, D.C. are black. This is not a city that has had any safety for its black citizens for generations. And President Trump is the one who is fixing that with the support of the Metropolitan Police Department, the support of the National Guard, and our federal law enforcement officers. So we're going to ignore these stupid white hippies that all need to go home and take a nap because they're all over 90 years old, and we're going to get back to the business of protecting the American people and the citizens of Washington, D.C.
And Stephen Miller, just a total disingenuous white nationalist, fearmonger. And by the way, if you're in an administration with white nationalists, is that what you are? You be the judge. But he's using here the same scare tactics and fear-mongering about crime he always does. Because somebody's homeless, because they might even say something inappropriate, doesn't make them violent criminals. They just make enormous leaps to people who have mental illness and are unhoused and need to find a way to improve their lives. And yeah, of course, it's not pleasant. There's things you can do to fix it. But sending in the military to our cities, that's certainly not the way you have to do that. And of course, Miller's words have a lot more weight here than when he's like saying it on Twitter or on Fox News, because he's literally standing there with the people who are tasked with turning his ideology into reality, and they are happy to do it.
You have vagrants, you have drug addicts, you have the chronically homeless, you have the mentally ill who harass, who threaten violence, who attack families, and they've done it for far too long. This should be a monument to American greatness. This should be a place where you can come and share a meal or go shopping with your family. It should not be a place where parents of small children are afraid to bring them because, to Stephen's point, we have empowered criminals over the people who actually need public safety in the city. So I think Union Station is a great example of what's possible when you actually have the political willpower to bring law and order and common decency back to the public spaces of the United States of America. So many Americans live in cities, they occupy these spaces, they know how unsafe they are, and they would love to be able to just live their life in places like Union Station without violent criminals making it impossible. We have changed so much in 9 days, and I thought it important to highlight how great of a space this could be, how easy it could be to actually enjoy something like Union Station if you just had politicians who stopped prioritizing violent criminals over the public citizens who deserve public safety in their own communities.
And here's how you know what's happening in D.C. is a complete clown show.
Have they told you anything about your mission, like what you're supposed to be doing around Union Station at least?
Just helping out with local law enforcement.
Are you carrying any firearms? No.
A Defense Department official tells CNN that so far, guardsmen on the street in D.C. are not armed and have not been requested to carry firearms. The official says they'll be prepared to arm if they get the order. When asked if they will deploy to high-crime areas of the city, the official said, quote, "That's not the request."
They're there to support law enforcement without weapons. And while it's certainly good that they didn't immediately grab weapons to even further create this sense of a militarized nation that the Trump administration certainly wants us to be in, they're not going to where the crime is. So it's just for show. It's a show put on by clowns. That's called a clown show, for the record. I'm Ben Gleib for Rebel HQ. You can follow me on Instagram at Ben Gleib for lots more.